But they were disobedient and rebelled against you. They turned their backs on your law. They killed your prophets, who had warned them in order to turn them back to you. They committed awful blasphemies. Nehemiah 9:26. What happens when God's chosen people choose their own path over his commands? The stories of Jeroboam and Saul reveal the tragic cost of rejecting divine guidance. God handpicked Saul to be Israel's first king. Through the prophet Samuel, God anointed him, empowered him, and gave him clear instructions. Yet Saul's story is one of progressive disobedience, from offering unauthorized sacrifices to directly violating God's commands about the Amalekites. His reign, which began with such promise, ended in darkness and defeat. Similarly, after Solomon's heart turned away from God through his many foreign wives and their idols, God chose Jeroboam to lead 10 tribes of Israel. Through the prophet Ahijah, God promised Jeroboam a lasting dynasty if he would walk in obedience. The prophet's warning was clear: follow God's ways and prosper. But Jeroboam's fear overruled his faith. Worried that his people would return to Jerusalem to worship, he created golden calves and declared, "Here are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt." He established false worship centers, appointed unauthorized priests, and led an entire nation into idolatry. Both men started with divine selection and divine blessing. Both received prophetic warnings. Both had everything they needed to succeed in God's plan. Yet both allowed the devil's appeal to override their hearts, Saul through pride and disobedience, Jeroboam through fear and faithlessness. Their tragic endings remind us that being chosen by God doesn't guarantee automatic success. It requires continual submission, faithful obedience, and a heart that treasures God's approval above all else. God has chosen you too, chosen you to be his child, his representative, his vessel. Are you walking in his ways, or have you allowed fear, pride, or worldly concerns to lead you astray? Don't repeat the mistakes of Saul and Jeroboam. Choose daily obedience over temporary convenience. If this message convicted you, share it with someone who needs to return to God's path. Subscribe for more biblical warnings that protect us from spiritual failure. And remember, being chosen is a privilege, but staying faithful is a choice.